The family peeks around the corner to see a Grimm in the house. John, I don't know what you are, but I do know this, you're already dead. The hound just growls and leaps for the son of the Dark Knight. He then makes a slash, but it dodges it. John, He corrected his stance and used Judgment Cut, but the hound jumped and dodged fluidly. John, what kind of Grimm? He couldn't finish his thoughts as it then leaps for him, chomping for his face as he bent backwards and let it slam into the wall. But it landed on its feet and then leaps back at him with great speed. As it lands a slash on Vergil's back. John, R. Whitley, John. That got the hound's attention and it looks at him. John, get out of here. As he then used a perfect Judgment Cut. The hound was caught in its radius as it howls in pain. The Schnees all ran for it while John had it occupied. But he saw something off as the hound glowed white and healed itself. John, Aura, don't tell me. The hound shapeshifts its claws to become bigger as it swipes at him, slightly glancing his arm. John was annoyed that his coat was getting shredded as he discards it and resumed his attack. He went in with a rapid slash, but the hound sprouted wings and flies to avoid him. He created summon swords and sent a hail of them at the hound as it blocks, not noticing that its body isn't the main target, but its wings. With the wings riddled, it loses its flight capability as it crashes down. It stood once again, showing damage but not grievous. John then summoned Mirage Edge and used Drive to launch 2 slashes at it. But it just healed. John, if that thing uses aura, then there has to be a limit. He then went in with a variety of combos, as they were evenly matched. Funny thing is he wasn't too serious, but it's time to get. He then summoned a Mirage of his Sin Grimm trigger and double-teamed the would-be High Grimm. It was caught off guard by the summon as it was hacked and slashed at as the aura was slowly draining. But John was relentless. He used Yamato to its fullest potential. He then uses Beowulf to give it a beating of a lifetime. He finally went full force. And finishes it. But it wasn't over as only its aura broke. The Schnees were now looking from afar as the battle was nearing its conclusion. The hound stood up wobbly as it tries to continue, but John went in for a slash on its face, and what he saw horrified him. It was human forcibly mixed with a Grimm. But that's not what shocked him. The human was. She bore a striking resemblance to Ruby. Flashback. Beacon rooftop. John was going up there to brood, but he saw someone else up there as it was a familiar Little Red Riding Hood. Ruby. Oh, hey John. What's up? John. This is usually my hiding place to think about things. Ruby. Sorry, I just wanted a place to just think of stuff too. John. Is it Schnee? Ruby. No, not this time. I was thinking about my mom. He felt something as he was a mother's boy. John. Well, I'm here. You can talk about it if you want. But I have to warn you, I'm not good with the touchy-feely stuff. Ruby. I just miss my mom. John. Can't you just call her? Ruby. She's gone. John. Oh, my apologies. Ruby. It's okay. Sometimes she's the only thing I can think of. I just wondered, why did she end it that way? John. End? No, the journey doesn't end there. Death is just another path. One that we all must take. The gray rain curtain of this world rolls back and all turns to silver glass. And then you see it. Ruby. What? John. See what? John. White shores. And beyond. A far green country under a swift sunrise. And then we all meet again. Ruby. That doesn't sound so bad. It's like those fairy tales about the afterlife. John. Just remember, Ruby Rose, your mother will always be there with you. He points to her heart and then to his forehead. John. As long as she is in there, she will live on. Ruby was tearing up and hugs him as he was awkwardly still unable to reciprocate the moment. Flashback end. John felt immense fury at the desecration. He must save her. Then Yamato glows blue as something comes to his mind as he saw ghostly chains binding Summer Rose. He then transformed into his Sin Grimm trigger as he spoke. The Shnees were shocked that the man who helped them turned into a Grimm. Jaune, free this woman from the heavy chains that burden her so. He then runs her through with Yamato as the blade pierces her chest as the miasma plaguing her body slowly fades and was absorbed into Jaune. Finally, he pulled Yamato out of her as it left no wound as her naked body fell into his arms as he transformed back to his human form. He looks to the Shnees who stared at him in shock or awe. Jaune, this woman needs medical attention. Klein was the first to snap out of it as he went to get the woman. Klein, don't worry, I studied medicine, I'll treat her first, then get some doctors. He leaves the three behind to talk. Jaune, you saw? Willow, we all did. Jaune then transforms back. Jaune, does my appearance scare you, human? Willow reached out and touched his cheek. Whitley, mother. Willow, no. Jaune, even if I am not fully human? Willow, I'm not afraid. He then reverts back. Jaune, let me explain. Then the day goes by with Vergil retelling the story of Remnant, the brother gods, the humans, the Faunus, and then the Grimm. He told them the birth of the High Grimm and their role in the world, and how a Grimm fell in love with a human and bore 3 children. He shows them a photograph of his parents. Willow, amazing. Whitley, it's so crazy. The fairy tales are true. Jaune, yes, and my father lived long enough to see the beginning of the world. Willow, isn't it a bit sad that you people are immortal? Jaune, no, we grow old and die as well, but we can decide when to leave this world. I believe my father will join my mother to the grave when her time comes. Willow, I see. And you? Jaune, what about me? Willow, have you found love in your life? Jaune, I don't seek it. I have no time for frivolous things, and besides, my mother was just an anomaly. Who would love a Grimm like me? Willow then clasps his hands with hers. Willow, I do. Jaune, what? 1. Willow, ever since you came here I have felt more happier than ever before. I just couldn't place it. And I realized I felt warmer again. Whitley felt the time to leave these two alone as he felt embarrassed and awkward, but deep inside he was happy with this development. Willow, through all the people I have ever met you were more of a human than any of them. Jaune, are you sure? Do you? He shows her his Grimm form once more as she held her grip on him even firmer. Willow, Jaune, no. What is your real name? Jaune. Willow, I know with the life you live you had to hide. Please tell me, what is your real name? Jaune, Vergil. Willow, Vergil. Vergil, you're you, and it's you who I want to be with. I never met anyone as human as you are. She then stood on her toes and kissed the Grimm on his Faung-exposed lips as he reverts back to human and leans into the kiss. The two shared the moment for what it felt like an eternity, as the chapter of a new age of human and Grimm love begins.